Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game. You walk out there and heck of an environment. It's just something that I take great pride in for our guys and for our community to come out on a Thursday night and really try to do their part for us tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't do enough on our end for the fans there tonight, but I would anticipate them coming back. We have another huge opportunity on Saturday to accomplish something that we want to accomplish, and they were there for us tonight. And we're gonna, that's part of this process. It's part of it. So that was awesome to see. And then for us, we came out first half, and we were down 3-5, and we ended up going down by. I think we cut it to 5 or 6 on Brian's dunk and one. That was a heck of a play, and then they came back and we didn't guard a 3, and then they got a steal and I think a layup. So kind of negated some of that energy right away, and then going into halftime down 12 or 13, fought to cut it to 8 or something a couple times, and just couldn't get enough of the little things done ultimately. And you let two guys get 28 or 31, whatever it is. And it's unfortunate because when you waste a 30-point performance by one of your own guys, 12 and 12-point performance by one of your own guys, we just didn't have enough other guys step up from a scoring standpoint. But it really wasn't that, is we didn't get enough stops collectively across the board, and I didn't put them in enough good position to have that success. And as a coach, you'll go in there and you take this one on the chin because I want to own this one. And then we'll come back and get ready on Saturday. For Saturday.
Brian, the two of those guys just lightened up. Sometimes guys just have nights like that. And sometimes you look at what your team maybe didn't do, what you were talking about, maybe what position you put them in. A combination of those things tonight? Because those guys couldn't.
No, what they did was they made the shots that they were easy shots in terms of rhythm. I didn't think we put them out of enough rhythm. We tried changing defenses a little bit. They got to their spots. We had a couple different coverages that I don't even really affected the shot necessarily. But Martin got to his spot. He's a good mid-range guy, and we don't want him just to shoot an unchallenged mid-range shot. But I thought their rhythm, they found it early. And then they hit a couple. When a guy makes a layup, it's like Ray. He gets to the free throw line, he makes an and one, he gets a layup. Well, next thing you know, some of his Ray Sean type of shots are a little bit more easy to go in for him. And I think that's ultimately what we did from a defensive standpoint for those guys. There were some major breakdowns that just they saw the ball go in, and then when you let some good player see the ball go in, then they can have a night.
Ray, did you and Rob ever match up in high school?
We never played in high school. I know they had a good team down there, but we never matched up. We had mutual opponents, but we never played each other.
Yeah, talk about that kind of a back and forth between outstanding guards having a big night like you were and they were. It's got to be pretty competitive out there.
Yeah, it's definitely competitive. Obviously I wanted to get more stops, but they both good players, so they made some shots today. Move on, and then we got to win this next game.
With Little Rock losing, now all of a sudden Saturday's game is still the same as if you had both won tonight. Mm-hmm. It's just huge for you guys to attempt to get that double bye at the OVC tournament.
Yeah, we in our mind you wanted to win tonight, and then you have an opportunity on Saturday to be co-champions. All right, and I want to congratulate Brad. In SEMO, they won the league, and they deserved to win the league. And we got beat by a team that was a league that won the league tonight. And our goal was to try getting them tonight, and then you toss it up on Saturday, and if someone helps you a little bit, like Eastern helped us tonight, I guess. You never know. So now it's nice because you always want to win for your seniors, obviously, right? You always want to, you have senior night. You always have that kind of obvious thing that teams that are not going to play past Saturday still can say if they're at home. And we also have the opportunity now to beat Little Rock, split with them on the year, and still finish for that 2, I think. And that's a huge thing, with this late in the season, with the miles that we put on. Like, our guys are going to be so fired up next week regardless. But it's something that it's always nice to have things to play for. And you should always just play for things because you are playing. But then there's a couple little things on top of this with senior night and an opportunity to beat Little Rock and kind of control yourself a little bit.
In that second half, in the first half you didn't have a lot of opportunities. In the second half you just kind of, I don't know, it seemed like you just decided, I'm going to seize the opportunities. Was it kind of a different mindset in the second half?
Yeah, it was. I wanted to make sure I implement myself more. I didn't really take that many shots or anything in the first half, and that's my fault. I got to start off better.
I got to get them going better too. Everybody.
Oh yeah. So, Little Rock coming up, obviously. Are there any parts of their game that you're looking to stop, or only not specifically have happened?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched more film than Ray on them, so I'll answer it. But they're long. When you see them, they're an extremely long team. They look drastically different than a lot of people in our league. Very active, methodical offensively. They're going to run a particular half-court offense that's pretty physical, pretty methodical, and they have a lot of options with their size. So we're going to have to do a good job of, in a one-day turnaround, playing the right kind of personnel, being physical on our coverages, and then from an offensive standpoint, handling a certain amount of pressure and distributing the ball, which would lead to good for great shots. But that's going to be an important part of the game against Little Rock. They're a good team.
So with the emotion high there, there's a lot of emotion in the building. How do you guys separate that with the passing game?
I didn't do a great job of that tonight, and I love these guys. I look out there, okay, and you try to. I just look out there and appreciate it, the heck out of where I am is the best way to say it, and you want it so more. So I want it very much for the right reasons, all right, for the people that have allowed us to have this opportunity. So how do you do it? You got to continue to stay in the moment of each play. Because I've been in situations as a coach and as a player it's been in tremendous environments. And what you want to do is you got to be able to capitalize on the right emotion at the right time. I had a coach in college always talk, play with emotion but not emotionally. And I think that's great. That's a great thing to kind of capitalize on that with your own mindset, my own mindset. So you want to, it's such a fine line that we want it so much for all the right reasons. Rashawn Taylor wants to win for the right reasons. He doesn't want to win because he wants to win for Ray. He's probably 15th or 20th on that list. And I, vice versa. I have a list of people that I'd love to sit up here and thank one day. When we are doing something special. So what you do now moving forward is you kind of internalize what we experienced. Because right now we had an opportunity that we had not had previously. So now we have that experience, which is awesome. So now you have a goal next week to have that opportunity again. So now if you can capitalize on the art of learning today, you will be better hopefully next week. Obviously Saturday we have a game, but I'm talking about the tournament as well. I don't know, it's a long-winded answer, but it's a truthful one.
And then you talked about your rest of the starters in the bench needing to step up. You got you get out of Ray and bring tonight. What's it going to take when the other guys come in?
Well, yeah, I want to be clear. They did not step up. They just didn't. There just wasn't scoring necessarily with some things. They stepped up in a lot of ways, and I think that here's what we need to do collectively as a team. Just continue to be good for great. Make sure that if there's a shot that can be a little bit more open or a great shot, that we have a lot of guys that can, and we missed some shots that we really should have made. You shoot the next one. That's what you do. Whoever didn't make a ton of shots tonight, I think Des Polk was 1 for 6. Des Polk set the tone early. Got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds, got the basket right away. I think several of his shots, like he just was making a ton of them at shoot around. So shoot the next one. So it's about as simple as that. We have guys that are stepping up in a lot of areas, and it's not always just going to be. We lost the game today from a defensive standpoint, which really would create about 5 to 10 points offensively. If you have that swing, well, next thing you know, you're talking about darn near a tie game or a 2-point game, hopefully in our favor.
Ray, you talked about defense. You guys have given up 80 back-to-back outings. What's got to change with you guys defensively?
We got to square up the ball. We got to communicate better, and then we just got to have more pride in guarding our men. I mean, that's really what happened. We got beat one-on-one a lot tonight. We let people get to their hot spots, and, I mean, if you let them do that, you're not going to get too many stops. But, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what it is, and 'cause I don't know how many transition.
I don't think they got a ton of transition.
I think it's at 10 points or something like that. But, I mean, we let them push the pace on us, and we didn't guard the ball screen correctly. So they got wide open shots the whole day. And that's what we got to do. We got to get our hands up, get some deflections. We got to pressure again. That's what it is. We just-
We put up 30 today and another 30-point outing against Mark. What's been working for you offensively?
I don't know. I just picked my spots. And I mean, I made the shots that I work on, but it's still not enough. So I got to get 50 then if I want to win the game.
Brian, you and Brad have been in the league now about the same amount of
Mhm.
time, and you guys have both built programs in the right trajectory.
Mhm.
You just hit 20 for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
You're right there at that same precipice. You're fighting for a title. He's just gotten a title. It's kind of fun to watch these two programs kind of climbing the OVC ladder at the same time. Can you talk about them a little bit, about Brad?
Yeah, I mean, Brad's been someone. So I coached against Brad when I was at Illinois State. So I've known of Brad for a while, and then we've evolved a little bit into a friendship in terms of knew him a little bit at Kansas State, and then we got into the league. I come from the old school mindset of coaching, where when I was a coach, when my dad was a coach, there was a lot of times the night before the game, the opposing coach was just at the house. That was the norm for me. That was like they're sitting there, my mom was making dinner. They were sitting there talking, chopping it up, hanging out all night. And then the next day they went at each other, and unfortunately that's not where it is as much anymore. That's why I'm in this thing, not to be just best friends with everybody, but that's part of it. You obtain relationships, and I knew when Brad got the job, I think a year after me maybe, I had called him or 2 years, whatever it was, and just said congrats when he got the job, because I remember you didn't get a lot of those necessarily from people in the league, and that's not because it's wrong by anybody else, but I know that what it meant, and we've known each other and got to know each other through these last several years. He has a good team. They're tough. They play well together. He responded after last season in terms of not as many wins as he obviously would have liked, and I have great respect for a lot of things that he does, and half the time we're talking on the road, recruiting or something like that, it has nothing to do with basketball. We're talking about his daughter. He's a volleyball dad. He knows what I'm doing with my knucklehead kids. And I think when it gets out of that, without being too kind of lovey-dovey or what the right word is, for me, it goes so far beyond the job in this profession that you have guys like Rayshon Taylor sitting here that I coached too hard today. All right, not him. He can take whatever, but or too emotionally today, because you have because it's not about just wins and losses. And I think that's why our trajectory, at least for our program, and he's had some retention as well. And from what I know him as a person, it's kind of been fun to kind of progress collectively together. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.